Hello and welcome to this video. Today I am continuing my preparations for Inktober by doing a sketch based off of this prompt, whale, which I picked out in my last video. The first thing I did with this prompt was take a deep breath because unfortunately I did not want to draw this. I was not inspired, so I had to go through and look up inspiration on Instagram and Googling just images of whales, and I started with narwhal because I'm like, narwhals are cute, right? Right? Well, they aren't when I draw them. So after some uninspired graphite sketches, I moved on to drawing a beluga, and that turned out much, much better. Also added mermaids in, so I had a beluga in the foreground, mermaid behind it, and then mermaid beluga in the background, some rock formation under the water on the right, and then I wanted something to tie the whole piece together, so I added a ring of kelp around it. Once I moved into the ink drawing portion, I was using the Yatsushimo Chinese ink that I used in my previous videos, as well as the speedball dip pen I've also been using. And eventually, when I was putting in some ink washes, I used some watercolor paintbrushes. Whenever I'm inking in a graphite sketch, I like to go ahead and outline everything. That way I know where all my shapes end and I can just focus on the shading. Additionally, I like to do the lining from the front to the background so that I make sure that all my most important elements, which are usually in the foreground or middle ground, are in place before I do things in the background so that nothing gets cut off strange or, has weird lines going in the middle of my focal point. Once I got into the shading portion of this, I was like, oops, I made a mistake, because I too belatedly realized that I was spacing my hatch marks a little too far apart, so they weren't giving the beluga a nice transition between light and dark. Instead, it just kind of looked like I'd given it a beard or something. Whales decidedly don't have body hair like that. But it kind of worked itself out when I later put the washes in, so it was kind of okay. At this point of the drawing, it kind of enters the oh wow, everything is ugly part, and this happens in all my pieces of artwork. I get to a point where I've rendered things to a certain level, and then I realize, wow, this looks awful, I hope nobody looks at it. But lucky you're looking at it right now, so you can see the progression. So sometimes if your artwork isn't looking like super great, maybe it just needs to get pushed a little bit more or be a little more developed, and then you'll really like it. Now you'll notice that disproportionately there's more video of me doing the kelp around the outside of this drawing, and that's one, because there were lots of details to do on the kelp, and two, I'm a sucker for detail and I really enjoyed doing this kelp. It wasn't even a part of my original conception of what I was going to draw, and I just really like it. It's straight up my favorite part. That's not to discount the belugas, because they are also adorable, especially the one in the background. They're just so cute and puffy, and belugas are probably my favorite whale. And that probably goes back to when I was a kid, when the whole Baby Beluga song was a thing. I'm not going to sing it, even though I did record some audio with me singing it, just because I got really into it, but I'm not sharing that. Not forcing that on you, but I highly recommend looking it up if you want a cute little song about belugas. Another thing from my past that came to mind while I was doing this drawing and editing the video is when I was in high school, my art teacher told us that when you're making a piece of art, you want to work on all parts of the drawing all together, so you don't specifically develop one part of it and then, work out from there, but rather your piece of art is supposed to be a conversation between different elements in that drawing. And I realized I do that. However, it's not necessarily conducive to making a very interesting video of your drawing, because once the main values are down, like I did with the washes on the kelp, it's sometimes hard to see the way that the shadows are developed or the details are developed. So it's just something I'm going to try and keep in mind in future videos and see if I can find any research on that. So if you have any ideas on that, please let me know. Now this is right about the part of the drawing where I did change things, I promise, but it's really hard to tell. Whenever I show anyone this part of any piece of artwork I make, it's 3/4 of the way through, I show it to people and they're like, it looks good. Yeah, this is nice. What'd you change since the last time I looked at it? And I've been working at it for hours and hours. This especially came up in oil painting, but as I'm watching this video, there are tiny little changes being made, I promise. They're just practically invisible. So I have reached the point in this video where I'm not quite sure what else to talk about, and I'm trying to record audio in between a lawnmower going past my window. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the music just play, and I'll catch up with you at the end of the video. So this is what it looks like. I am actually very happy with this despite not being excited about the prompt in the beginning. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos if you want to see more of my preparation for Inktober, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye!